not giving the guy a pass. I'm just
no, I didn't. I didn't say you were giving a pass. I'm just saying that, as far as I was concerned, he should be. I was just coming.
I don't know why he has a job. That's
right.
That's
I know
number one. Why does this guy still have a job? Okay, so keep the timing on this in mind here. Remember, the date of the incident was in July of 21. Indictment in November that year.
Before you play it, Mike.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to get to it in the video, but if not, just remind me before we end the show today. Lally says something during this whole thing that's actually kind of interesting when he has to finally come up with an answer. So just remind me if we don't hear it,
because we might not. Is it toward the end? Is it toward the end?
I don't remember exactly where it is.
Okay, and there is so much in here that I guarantee I may have missed it, or we aren't going to get to it. But this is the point at which he's asked about kind of the realization that he hasn't gotten everything he needs. Let me get that up here for you.
But maybe you want to cover new ground.
Oh, wait, whoops.
I'm just trying to figure out, so let me ask a question.
Here we go.
So when do you realize that you never turned over the search warrants? When do you realize that?
As far as the 2021?
Back up. When do you get the search warrant in your custody?
In my custody?
Yes.
I would say probably I became aware of it about a month ago.
A month ago?
Yes.
That's it.
July of 2025, or June of 2025.
Yes.
Is the first time you became aware that you didn't turn over the search
4
warrant?
years later.
Yes, if I had been aware earlier, then I would have turned over the search warrants.
Of course, not my problem.
Right? You had your list that said 6 search warrants outstanding, right?
Yes.
You didn't ever check that off, right?
No.
So you knew they were outstanding, right?
Yes.
Okay.
He's got a checklist.
Well, she went to great lengths early on. It was a great maneuver, too, to find out what his practice was. How does he do this? Well, I have a list. Even his description was, kind of elementary school. I have a list, and I just check stuff off when it comes in. Not exactly electronic document keeping.
But that was the point I was talking about. I mean, he finds out about this a month ago, and this was 4 years ago. I mean.
Yeah, and so she's setting him up for this moment. Well, what do you mean? You had your list. Wouldn't you be checking stuff off your list? And so a month ago, 4.5 years after the case began, he finally realizes, don't have everything. It's just outrageous. And I have to assume they didn't finish with him, and they're going to have, we know Proctor was a no-show this day, which of course is another problem. But they're supposed to come back week after. Is it next week? Next week, right? The 4th, 5th, 6th, somewhere in there. And Proctor's supposed to show up. He was on vacation. Sorry. And they'll finish with Lally as well. And I'm assuming that they'll get to the point where, he's going to throw Proctor under the bus. That's my guess, because he's made all these efforts to reach out to Proctor, sent him everything. Proctor's the bad guy. He never responded. I got all kinds of cases going on. I got stuff up in the air. I can't be following up and wiping these guys' asses. They need to, give me what they've got once I've made the request, or twice, or 3 times, or 6 times. That's my guess. That's what's going to happen.
Well, I think you're right. Anyway, we saw him, basically tee up witness after witness in the first trial. I mean, he was setting people up. Talk about throwing people under the bus. He needs some shoulder surgery. I mean, it's just like
threw out my shoulder.
Great line.
I mean, the whole thing with Proctor now. I mean, if like I said, this isn't going to be the only case that we're going to be talking about.
No,
because there's probably a line at the courthouse, looking for, some angle somewhere along the line. Any case this guy touched, as well as others. I mean, and you have to understand that's the way it goes. But this is like fundamental or rudimentary, however you want to talk about it. I'm no lawyer, but you have to just understand that if you don't have these documents, and the police are the ones that are supposed to give them to you, I guarantee when he asked for the medical, he asked for the autopsy reports, I guarantee he got those right away.
Yeah. Too bad the county spent $500,000 on Hank Brennan, because they could use that money to get somebody in there to sort this out, and all of the cases that either going to have to be retried or in some way fixed.
How about the lawsuits that are going to be coming?
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's just it's going to be one thing after another.
Yep.
You know, Joe, in the YSL case, we saw at some point it got so bad
that the court ordered that the whole DA's office that was assigned to that case had to take courses on Brady. They were assigned to take remedial courses on what Brady means and what you have to turn over. I can't believe in this day and age that lawyers don't know. I mean, or that that police officers don't know what has to be turned over and when it has to be turned over. I just, it's mind-boggling to me that we've come this far. And, how many years past O.J. Simpson are we? How many years does anyone remember?
Well, do you really think that they don't know, or they're just blowing off their obligation, really? And
Well,
I think
you
the
hope it's
judge
not
saying,
that, right?
yeah, the judge says, oh, go take these classes. Well, what is that? I mean,
If I recall correctly, though, Brady versus Maryland was like 1963.
Oh, yeah.
So forget about OJ, right? I mean, we're talking
Yeah.
ancient history here. We're talking things that we, and this is a topic that I always go over in my classes, because when we're talking about search warrants and the different aspects of criminal investigation, and then about Brady material, and then you had I think there's a California case, the Tennyson case, which forces the police to hand over everything to the district attorney. I mean, it's just this is basic 101 investigative stuff.
Right.
I don't understand why this is an issue.
Exactly why it's still an issue. We have a question from Kyle Sharkey. New Rule 14: if certain personnel are not a part of the NDAO anymore, would they still have to get all communications regarding the case turned over? Well, I guess if they quit, then their obligations to get things over doesn't exist. However, I would argue if they're watching something and they know something exists, then they have an obligation to at least go back to the office and tell the chief of office, hey, when I was on that case, that existed and that should be turned over. I mean, that would be my argument, that your duty doesn't really end if you hear of something that has not been turned over and you know it exists. I don't know if there's a case on that or not, but I don't know if it's so easy,
Right thing. Versus being, statutorily required to do it. You would just do it. It's the right thing to do.
Right. If you know it.
So check this out. Can you check that out? See what this is? Can you see that?
Kyle Sharkey.
There you go. This is his mug.
That's your mug? Oh,
it's getting ready to go out the door. On Thursday, Kyle, one of two people identified where in the world I was. And so that's ready to go out the door there.
I thought you went to the post office already.
Well, I have a problem with that one. It's going to Canada. So anytime they go out of the country, there's always extra paperwork, and I didn't have it ready to go.
Okay. Yeah. Sheila Duffy is always our joke. Poor Sheila.
Yes.
Because she's in Ireland and she hasn't gotten her mug yet. Nicole Kelly, if you're ever unsure about Brady, you don't ask someone, what do I do? You think these cops work from home and talk to no one? Oh, Joe, they talk to right? You're training them. That's the whole point.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I've written about this. I've talked about this. I mean, it's just. Well, listen, I mean, we could go all day about retraining for the Massachusetts State Police for sure. I mean, there is a golden opportunity that the governor has and the colonel has in order to revamp this and really make an effort to try to change this, because everything from soup to nuts went wrong in the both cases.